There are lives that merely pass through time, and then there are lives that carve new paths through history. Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela was such a man, a troublemaker by his given name, a lawyer by profession, a prisoner by injustice, and ultimately a liberator by destiny. His story is not just a biography. It is the epic saga of a nation's struggle, a testament to the enduring power of the human spirit. He was born in 1918 in a tiny village called Mvezo in the Eastern Cape of South Africa. Rolihlahla Mandela, as his mother named him, meaning pulling the branch of a tree, a playful euphemism for troublemaker, a name that would prove remarkably prescient. His father, Gadla Henry Mpakonyizwa, was a local chief, but it was in the care of the Tembu regent, Chief Yongintaba Dalendebo, that the young Mandela received his foundational education and absorbed the wisdom of his people. He pursued higher education, first at Fort Hare, then law at the University of Witwatersrand in Johannesburg. It was in the sprawling, segregated metropolis of Johannesburg, far from the tranquil Transkei, that Rolihlahla truly became Nelson. He saw the brutal face of racial discrimination, the pass laws that dictated where black Africans could live and work, the economic exploitation. The scales fell from his eyes. The 1940s were a crucible. The seeds of what would become apartheid were already germinating. Nelson Mandela, a budding lawyer, found his voice. He found a purpose. He found allies. In 1944, he joined the African National Congress, the ANC, a political organization fighting for the rights of black South Africans. But Mandela, along with his visionary comrades Oliver Tambo and Walter Sisulu, felt the ANC needed a sharper edge. They founded the ANC Youth League, injecting a new militancy, demanding direct action. As the National Party solidified its grip in 1948, institutionalizing racial segregation into the heinous system known as apartheid, Mandela's role intensified. He wasn't just observing injustice, he was fighting it in the courts and on the streets. He and Oliver Tambo opened South Africa's first black-run law firm, a beacon of hope against a legal system designed to oppress. In 1952, he was a key organizer of the Defiance campaign, a mass nonviolent resistance against unjust laws. Thousands deliberately broke segregation laws, leading to mass arrests. Mandela, despite facing repeated bans and restrictions, was at the forefront. But non-violence had its limits. The turning point was the Sharpeville massacre in 1960, where police opened fire on peaceful protesters, killing 69 people. The brutality of the state left an indelible mark. It shattered the illusion that moral persuasion alone could dismantle apartheid. The government banned the ANC. The path of nonviolence seemed closed. It was then, in 1961, that Nelson Mandela, a man who had dedicated his early life to peaceful protest, made a momentous and agonizing decision. He co-founded Umkhonto with Sizwe, Spear of the Nation, the armed wing of the ANC. Their strategy? Acts of sabotage against government infrastructure, carefully avoiding loss of life. He went underground, becoming the Black Pimpernel, a phantom haunting the regime. His time as a fugitive was short-lived. In 1962, he was captured, likely with assistance from the CIA. Imprisoned for inciting strikes and leaving the country illegally, a far graver charge was on the horizon. In 1963, a raid on an ANC safe house in Rivonia uncovered documents detailing their sabotage plans. Mandela, though already incarcerated, became the symbolic head of the Rivonia Trial.
charged with treason and sabotage, facing the death penalty, Mandela seized the moment to deliver one of the most powerful political statements of the 20th century. His speech from the dock was not a plea for leniency, but an indictment of apartheid itself. On June 12, 1964, the world held its breath. The judge delivered his verdict, not death, but life imprisonment. Mandela, along with his comrades, vanished behind the walls of apartheid's most notorious prison, Robben Island. His prisoner number, 46664. For 18 long years, Robben Island was his home, a relentless grind of forced labor, meager rations, and psychological warfare. The guards addressed him by his number, not his name. The lime quarry blinded his eyes, permanently damaging them. But even in isolation, Mandela continued to lead. He educated his fellow prisoners, organized hunger strikes, and refused to be broken. Outside, the world began to stir. His wife, Winnie, became a powerful, albeit often controversial voice for the struggle. The international anti-apartheid movement gained momentum. Boycotts intensified, and Free Nelson Mandela became a global rallying cry. The prisoner became a symbol. The years turned into decades. From Robben Island, he was moved to Pollsmoor, then to Verster prison, where, remarkably, secret negotiations began with the very regime that had imprisoned him. The world changed, and so too did the calculus of power within South Africa. By the late 1980s, South Africa was a pariah state. International sanctions crippled its economy, and internal unrest simmered. Even within the apartheid government, some understood that the system was unsustainable. One man, F.W. de Klerk, rose to the presidency, carrying the weight of this realization. De Klerk, a staunch proponent of apartheid, made a decision that shocked the world. He would begin dismantling the system and release Nelson Mandela. It was a calculated risk, a recognition that the future of South Africa depended on it. On February 11, 1990, the world held its breath once more. A frail but beaming Nelson Mandela, hand in hand with Winnie, walked out of Verster prison. After 27 years, he was free. His first public address was not of bitterness or vengeance, but a call for peace, unity, and continued struggle. What followed was an extraordinary 4-year period of intricate, often perilous negotiations. Mandela and de Klerk, former adversaries, now sat across the table, painstakingly forging a path to a non-racial democracy. There were moments of extreme tension, of near collapse, but the two men, despite their profound differences, shared a common goal: avoiding civil war. In 1993, a testament to their improbable partnership and their shared commitment to a peaceful transition, Nelson Mandela and F.W. de Klerk were jointly awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. It was a global acknowledgement of a miracle in the making. April 27th, the day South Africa changed forever. For the first time, all citizens, irrespective of race, could vote. The lines stretched for miles, a vibrant, hopeful tapestry of a newly free nation. The outcome was never truly in doubt. On May 10, 1994, Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela stood before his nation and the world, not as a prisoner, but as the first black president of a democratic South Africa. His promise, a rainbow nation where all belonged. His mission, reconciliation, not retribution. Central to this vision was the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, chaired by Archbishop Desmond Tutu. It was a unique, controversial experiment. Victims shared their stories of suffering, and perpetrators confessed their crimes in exchange for potential amnesty. It was a painful, necessary process, laying bare the wounds of the past, attempting to heal them through truth. Mandela's presidency was defined by symbolic acts of unity, perhaps no more powerful than the 1995 Rugby World Cup. The Springboks, long a symbol of white supremacy, became a vehicle for national pride. Mandela, wearing the green and gold jersey, embraced the team, and in doing so, embraced a nation striving for togetherness. After a single, transformative term, Mandela stepped down in 1999, setting a powerful precedent for democratic transition. He dedicated his later years to global advocacy, establishing the Nelson Mandela Foundation and The Elders, a group of distinguished global leaders.
He tirelessly campaigned against HIV and AIDS, a disease that tragically claimed his own son. He became the conscience of the world, a living embodiment of the ideals he fought for. On December 5, 2013, at the age of 95, Nelson Mandela passed away. The world mourned, but his death was not an end, but a punctuation mark on a life that continues to inspire. Nelson Mandela's legacy is immense. He showed us that even in the face of unimaginable oppression, dignity can be maintained, that forgiveness can be a more potent weapon than vengeance, that one individual, through unwavering conviction and boundless courage, can move mountains, change hearts, and redefine the course of history. From a troublemaker in a small village to a global icon of freedom, Madiba's journey reminds us that the struggle for justice is eternal, but so too is the human capacity for reconciliation, resilience, and hope. His dream of a truly democratic and free society, where all persons live together in harmony, continues to echo, a guiding light for generations to come.